Hey guys, how you doing? Let's do it to it. Alrighty, I'll try this guy here. I think I can get A4 in if he allots me. We'll try that. Oh, so he plays there. Okay. This is this is weak to the C5 pawn. Yikes. Let's see if I can't get B6 in. Let's see. Oh, drat. I missed that, so phew. What should I have done here? Let's see. So I'm 8 and 1. Okay, let's give that another shot. Oh boy. Okay. That sucks. I missed that for sure. Let's try it. We'll try him again. I'm gonna go for, I'll have an isolated D pawn, but that's okay. I can play around it. Ooh. That's nice. He allotted me the ability to trade off my light squared bishop. Nice. I'm keeping the ability for my knight to come in. I didn't want to take with the knight. And I'm going to bring my knight in here, see if I can't double attack that. Castles, and then now I'm going to see if I can't bring my queen over here. Or I could potentially bring my bishop back around. I might do that. Keep my queen on d7. I like it there. I think it's pretty a good piece at that point. It holds here on e6. So yeah, I'm gonna come back around here, see if I can't pick up the pawn with bishop to b7 or c7, and then f6 maybe. We'll have to see if that actually works. He might try knight there, but that's actually nothing because I could just retreat my queen back. I'll just retreat my queen over. That might work too. Yeah. Now this comes in handy right here. This in between moves f6. His queen's under fire at this moment. Okay. If he takes here, I'm going to take there, and then I have a huge attack coming. He can't take here because if he does, he's going to be in a world of hurt with that, and then I can. Okay, let's see how many pieces are attacking that. Let me see. 1. right there coming down the pike. I think I hung a pawn there, drat. Maybe best would have actually been queen to f5. Queen f5 might have been best in that line. R. Yeah, because I could have kept this open here for that. Because if he had played here right away, I could have grabbed there. Okay, I gotta remember to do that. Let's see, do I pick up a piece with that? Do I pick up a piece with rook to rook f5? Is that a piece? I think it's a piece, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see any checks that you can do. Yeah, that picks up a piece. Yeah, so that's the move. Because I was wondering about here and here. So he's going to have to play there. Then, okay, then you play your rook up and you hold that pawn. Yeah, then the queen comes back, and then you grab that, and there's no way to really recover yet. Now we're getting ready to move there. If he moves here, we get everything coordinated, and we just picked up a piece. I want to check something out here, and then we'll get on to a Fabi game. Oh, I had enough? Oh yeah, because it's a rook and not a... Okay, so here, if he takes there, you take with your bishop, right? Yeah. So you'd be up a whole pawn in that line. First you take with the pawn, takes, knight takes, knight takes, knight, oh, you could take with that. But if you took with this, okay, and then if you took there, oh, okay, now you have a, okay. First you take there, queen takes, and then takes, okay, and you're up a piece there, okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's nothing really he could do. He's swarming all over him. Okay, we'll do a Fabi game, then we'll get into our London system. This is a game between Karyakin, Sergi versus Fabiano Caruana. Okay, Fabi played the English system. C4, knight f3, knight f, e5, knight f3. So now it was transposing into the 3 knights variation. And now 4 knights variation, which is more, with proper play, it's a draw. It's more solid of an opening for black, the 4 knights. And so Fabi played a3 and d5 for Karyakin. C takes d, knight takes d, and then e3, with the idea of letting out the bishop. This bishop comes out with the idea of castling. So this is a really prophylactic move. Also, if he pushes, you have the ability to retreat your knight and go into g1 to ge2. Knight takes, b takes. So now Fabi's idea is a full thrust d4, but Karyakin goes e5 and then knight d. Now this move here is really strong because it's supported twice, not just once. So e5, queen to e2. Now the pawn's under fire, and we're going to be getting this bishop out. Potentially Fabi can even castle kingside if need, or queenside if need be. f5 to support the pawn. c4, c5, knight to b5. That the c4 anchored the knight to b5. So bishop e7, which is an interesting idea. That prepares castling for Sergi. So bishop to b2. Hold on one second. Bishop b2. Bishop f6. And rook d1 with the idea of playing. Oops, sorry, I'm so used to clicking. With the idea of playing d4. Castles and bam, d4. C takes d4. Bishop takes d4. Queen to e7. Knight c5. Now Fabi's putting the pressure. He wants to reroute the knight to d6, an even more powerful spot. Ooh, queen c3, nice. I like this. This threatens to win a piece. Knight c5, bishop takes, queen takes, rook takes, and then a knight c with a fork. Yeah, this not for yeah the fork of the bishop and the rook. My bad there. Rook f, and then now in comes the rook to potentially takes here. Oh, I see. If he takes here and then you play rook there, you have bishop to c4. Nice. Nice. Rook e8. Rook d7. There's no real rush. This rook is pinned. b5. C takes b5. A takes b5. And then you have rook d6. And now you're going to win the whole entire house. Because if he comes up, you can actually first take, and then castles. That's what I'd play. And then if the knight comes, you just grab the... well, you don't have to grab it. You could just retreat your bishop back and hold there. And then if he walks out of the pin, then now you gotta take. King takes, and then rook to b1. And there's no way really to save this. Well, I guess you could try, but then now you have, well, maybe rather than, maybe we'll push. I like pushing better, because why give up your pawn? This is going nowhere. So if he comes over, you just grab oh well, oops, my bad, you can't grab that. Ouch. That would not be fun. c5. Check. And you'd have to get your king involved. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, well that was a really good game. And now we'll do our London system. Alright, I'll get a drink of water and we'll get started right into it. Hey, how you doing? Alrighty. Okay, dokie. On to the notes. Upward and onward. Okay, d4. And this is the Indian game, the King's Indian. And it's the London system, but when he plays G6, this is the King's Indian. E3, D6, H3. Of course, we know that because if he plays E4, we can take, and then he takes, queen takes, king takes, and then we retreat our bishop back. Yeah, so if you play here, takes, king takes, well, I guess we could win a pawn at that point. Okay, so he can't at this moment play that. So first of all, he's got a castle, and bishop e2. Still can't play it because we'd win the pawn on here, even if he did this. See, we still win the pawn. So we castle, knight bd7. Now the threat is for real, because he has a piece there. And why don't we decide? Forget it. You know what? We're just gonna play c4. You know what? Let's expand on the queen on the queen side. This is what was said. There's nothing wrong with c3. You could play c3. But since black has developed in such a non-threatening way, white may as well accelerate his queenside play and push c2 to c4. What black plays is an interesting move, knight to h5, but it's a waste of time because this actually helps white to actually go back to what white wants to actually do, which is h2, so a waste of time. They're saying a better move would be to continue with knight a6, knight bd2, because remember there's still this threat of b3 and b6 idea. So b5, bishop to, queen c2, because now we have the ability to, we have a double attack here. If he takes, we can actually take back with the knight. Or we have a potential c4, c5 idea. So bishop to b7, and we go rook a c1, c8, and then c5. This move is really huge. It, rather than him trading a wing pawn for a center pawn, more of a central pawn, he's going to be trading a central pawn for more of a wing pawn. C takes, D takes, and queen to E8, knight B3. This is an idea of anchoring the knight to D4 with a potential idea, or maybe even knight to. There's 2 points that he can go to: knight B, D4, or knight A5. Either one's a good move. E5, and then bishop H2, and here black was under pressure with black's still under pressure with on the A5, and let me see which else, and D6. So these 2 points are a potential en route for white. Here with the knight, there, and then in. So these 2 points have to be, as Yasser and Maurice would say, they'd have to have their eye kept on it very cautiously. It's a sensitive spot for their eyes to take scope on. Okay, so let's go. So c4, remember, because why not? Non-threatening, plays there. White's more than happy to just say, thank you very much, thank you. E5, and then c3. You know what? Take me. If you want to take me, I'll take back. I'm developed. I have more of an attack than you. So you can't do anything about that. Black needed to take his time and make the proper move. He got a little too rushed. The actually best move is f5, which of course you guys know this. It goes more towards the King's Indian with an attack, because now we by the knight moving, it makes sense now for the knight to have gone to h5 with f5, because no longer is the knight in front of the pawn. So this would have made the knight to h5 move have something to it. Otherwise, it's dubious. But he didn't play that. He played queen to e7, which is a waste of time. Okay. Then e1, so that if pawn takes, so if pawn takes here and takes, now we have a potential discovery on the queen. So he can't take the pawn. He pushes on. He goes f5. There is another idea of if you want to continue with kind of just simplifying and keeping the pressure for black. The best move would have been actually e4, knight d, and then knight h f6. This simply leaves black down 2 tempos, his knight and knight h5, and then knight back to f6. He's down 2 tempos, and would be basically a totally waste of time, but it's his best shot. So he tries f5, which is, at this moment, it's not the best because of where the queen is placed, it still makes the queen slightly vulnerable along with this rook here. When the queen was on d8, it was much safer. And this actually, he didn't have to worry about opening up of the e file. There was no queen on it. So, but white even made a dubious move, which gave black some time to slightly solidify his position. c5 should have been the move with the potential for a break. Yeah, the bishop was posted perfectly with the queen on the knight, so that if the knight ever had to move, you can take this and wreck the structure and take a pawn, and there'll be a gaping hole in the castle walls. So c takes b, and knight to d2. The queen moves to protect, because now it takes, and like this here, you can't take back because the queen's protecting it. But there still is a gaping hole, but I wouldn't give up my good light square bishop for his totally disgusting knight. f4 is a sweet move. I can't say it enough times. It's sweet, because it's like you have a warrior right on top of the castle wall, and it's like, it's going, you can't touch me. I have reinforcements coming up the ladders, boys. Bishop h8. Rotates g. And let's see, but did I miss anything? Hold on, let me get back here. Did I miss anything? Nope. Still good. Good. Okay, takes. I gotta make sure I'm back to where my the notes are. Okay. Okay. There is a if the bishop didn't move and you did something like, we'll just say something over here, this actually traps the knight, because takes, and the knight's trapped. There's no place to go to. That's why if you're wondering why the bishop had to retreat back, it's a forced move. And then e5. Let me see. Not e6. Sorry, my bad. It's e4. There we go. And this leaves black in a dire situation, because once this pawn falls, he'll have two passers. They're Isolani's, but they're still really good passed pawns. So, and that's the whole sitch. So I missed that and played bishop to f1. Sad. Sometimes we miss those combos, so don't get upset with yourself. It happens to the best of us. Now we're basically solidifying our position, saying we're here to play. And c5. Better later than never. It's time for the break. And so white's perfect. Now this f5 pawn push is like, uh-oh, I just opened my king to the world of an attack. There's a gaping hole in the wall, and the archers are ready to bring the arrows down. And then the king's like, protect me, my soldiers. And he's like, nope. 1 second. Excuse me, I swallowed wrong. Boy, that That really gets you. But yeah, he's like, if this opens up here, the king's going to be exposed to a diagonal attack, which is not going to be fun for him. Excuse me. Alright, so D takes, B takes, and C takes was the idea for black, but there is rook F to E8. This is an interesting idea. Black could try to maintain the central pawn tension with that move. So G3, if takes, takes. Now this is a weakness. It goes back. We take, pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes, B takes, and then now the bishop has acquired a fianchettoed position, really strong fianchettoed position. C takes, bishop takes, knight D7, and then we play bishop takes G7 with check, and queen comes over, and then knight to E4. And even here white has acquired an strategic advantage. He has three trump ideas here. One, black's isolated pawn on C6 is a weakness. And then there's also, we have the ability to place a knight here, if need be, on those 2 points without any fear of it getting kicked out at this moment. And so the knight, and we also, like what we said, this is a weakness. This knight's very powerful, and we can push if we need be just to reopen this setup. Excuse me. And 3, the bishop is tied down to a passive position of C6. This pawn can't be pushed, because if it does, we can actually take here. So if he pushes, let's say he takes there, right? King takes, knight takes, and then we have a takes, rook takes, and then we could play queen takes, and now we got a pass pawn, and it's coming right up the board. Let me see. I gotta make sure I didn't. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I gotta delete C5. Delete that. There we go. This is where it stopped. Okay, so let's get back. B takes C, rather than holding the tension. Black just relieved the tension. So C takes D, and then F4. Oh yeah, I like the French defense too. But this really is a sad state for black, if you notice, because all of his pawns are like, whoa. They're saying that potentially knight takes is actually best after knight takes, bishop takes check, queen takes, knight a4 with the double attack on the pawn, a d8, and now we're as Yazzer and Maurice actually would say, we're eyeballing the b7 pawn, b7 bishop. Queen to bishop e8, c8, not e8. Don't know where I got c8 from. And then knight takes, and white regains his pawn with advantage. With a huge advantage, actually. I'd say an overwhelming advantage. The strategic superiority of his position knight on c5 is out of this world powerful. This bishop is really not doing good because of where the pawns are, and this knight is just stellar compared to this bishop. It almost goes back to kind of the, if you want to think of the French, like what you're saying, the French bishop, the bad one, is the light squared bishop, and so we're if you look at it, black does have a horrible light squared bishop. But thankfully he did not go into that line, but just chose to kind of even more weaken his position, I guess. It was slightly better than what he played. But e6 was played, which is really strong. There's also instead of e6, there's another exclam move. E takes, knight takes, and then knight to e4. Double attacks the pawn here, and also eyes that. So there's a lot of initiative on the attack coming. So, but he played, instead of the e takes f and then knight takes f4 and then e4, he played e6. And if you're wondering why can't the queen take, he gets the surprise of his life with whoom, wham. There's no way to keep in contact with the knight, because he's going to end up getting, he's going to have to separate from the connection of the knight, and eventually this knight's going to fall, because he opened an attack right on to the queen. So yeah, that's not a fun move to put yourself into. You don't ever want to do that. Okay, let's see here. So he played, instead of that, just knight to be is the best variation of the French line. Personally, I've been loving the Winier lately, taking the knight. Oh, on well, the Winier is an interesting line of the French. We'll have to after we get through the London book, we'll have to start into the French and learn some French lines. But the Winier is really, you have to know your threads, your line threads. Otherwise, black will get really in a jam. It's more line. I've studied it. It's more lines. Yeah, the sub variations are huge. Okay, what happens if queen f5? You mean queen f6? Win. Are you talking about takes, knight takes, and then queen? Which on what are you? I don't understand. Queen f5. Are you talking about in the main line of the moves that you're saying? Because I have a couple of sublines. Let's see, and we'll just take a look 1 second here. Oh, gotcha. Oh, I see what you're saying. On this one, perfect, okay. So, right here, when it takes, queen to f5, okay, queen f5. Well, the little subtle trick of g4, and you pick up a knight. And it's like, ouch. So the queen has to retreat, and then you pick up a knight. That was a good. I'm glad you asked about that, because there's yeah. Queen f7. Okay. Let me see here. Let me take a look at this. I know there's something in the line. I'm trying to just give me a second here. Let me see. There's a way. There has to be a way of breaking the communication here. I think it has something to do with knight g5. Yeah, it's knight g5. That's the move. And if you try something like this again, you get the same problem with best. It is knight g5. You can't. This whole line's taken up. And the queen, there is no, that is taken by a fork. Yeah, so knight g5. Yeah. It's a good thing we went over that because he didn't have a line to look at. So now we know if f5, we go g4. Now if we go queen f7, we go first knight to g5. Queen would have to go to f5 again, and then you have g4. So you're in a you're up a creek without a paddle, as they would say. So that's kind of why he just moved and didn't take. He takes. Now the pawn's protected. Knight takes, and we just jump our knight in. One thing he took here, he never said why he didn't take here, and that's kind of what I was a little curious about. I want to see why this move isn't good. Just give me a sec, because I was wondering about that. What? Okay, you just retreat your knight back. So taking, okay, gotcha. Okay, so that's a bad move. Okay, because when you if he takes, queen takes there, you just retreat your knight back. Gotcha. I wanted to see that. So takes, queen g4, rook e8. Let's see, have we missed anything so far? Let me make sure we're on the path. Let's see, hold on. Alright, e4 here. Where? Knight on e5. If he takes via knight counterplay, let me see here. So knight to e5, and then if he takes, you go knight to d3, and then if knight takes, you play rook takes, and then if takes, and I don't know if you get enough compensation for that. Not here, sorry, here. Oh, knight takes. What? No. Knight takes. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. So you're saying knight takes. Okay. Yeah, because this is an interesting idea. The whole basis of knight to e4 is black is still under heavy pressure, and his central knights rule over the board at this present moment. The trick is he wants to swap off the bishops, one of the bishop pair, which would actually benefit white tremendously. But in this position, can black actually ever repair that? this structure here. Yeah, you're right, there is counterplay. Bishop to h6. Yeah, but I'm thinking that he's talking about something like maybe knight takes. Maybe there's a knight takes, pawn takes, and then you have kind of like a double attack idea here. Maybe there has to be. Let me see. Okay, he actually just, okay, makes sense. He goes rook to cd1. Yeah, rook cd1, and then now potentially, if we can, we get some pressure on maybe rook d2. Yeah, here, and then we trade off. Okay. That is an interesting line. Nice. But yeah, he wants to kind of put some, yeah. Yeah, that does put some pressure, but the only problem is knight to f4 has a little bit slightly more teeth to it, because if we played bishop takes, so now we're trading off a knight and a knight, and bishop takes, queen takes, and it's he doesn't have the two bishop advantage. That's what white wanted, was a light squared, a dark squared, and black to be left with this type of setup. So white, black acquired, even though his pawn structure is wrecked, he did acquire same bishop colors and same pieces. White has a slight advantage over black, probably like maybe a 0.6 or something like that of his structure, pawn structure endgame. So we just pick off a pawn, so now white's up a whole pawn. And he plays a dubious move, queen f6, which in hindsight it looks like it's a good move. But the best move is actually queen to b2, which is we're going to be going after the a2 pawn rather than this pawn. Really doesn't do anything to us because we don't really have anything on that's problematic. We need to get this pawn off the board, then we'll have two passed pawns. So this will give black some counterplay. It'll make these two pawns pretty powerful. Yeah. Yeah. And so then rook takes, and queen f4 with a threat there. So knight d5. Queen comes in, attacks the rook, g8, and rook e1. Bishop stops en route there. Rook e8 and queen to g7. Rook takes, queen takes, and then we pick up a pawn, the a7 pawn, and at this point white's able to, with the help of the queen, knight, and bishop, walk the pawn down the board like a good little soldier. It'll go to the other side, or as a football player who has the football, all of the guys are blocking for the pawn to get a touchdown, and it gets touchdown on a8 and turns into a queen. Hurrah! But that didn't happen, so I played queen to f6. f6, which is a human move. Rook takes, queen takes, and picks up a pawn, so they're actually black's down a pawn. White's down a pawn. But remember, it's not pawns, it's the structure that matters. Takes, and also at this point, the bishop is hung too. The bishop's on pre. So knight d7, d5, knight d6 to attack the rook. Yeah, exactly. Rook to e4. Oh yeah. Now you see the reason for that. Now you see why knight goes there to attack and undiscovers on a protection on that. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. Then rook comes to e3, check, king g7. So instead of capping the rook, bishop c, yeah. Yeah, I kind of see what you're saying, yeah. You just gotta, it's kind of hard when you're in such a complicated position like that. Check, and then king g7. Queen takes the c-pawn. So now everything's equal again, but there's one thing that white has. They have a bishop, and they're basically going to win now. This bishop holds everything together. The g2 pawn is perfectly protected by the bishop. f4, queen checks, f6, check, check. Yeah, but there's not enough time. Move 31. Queen e1. Rook e1. Let's see here. Check. 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 And then check. And you get the, you actually get all right here. Well, then what you do is you play rook takes, queen takes. Interesting. I'm sure you just move the king, and then if queen up, we go there, and then if checks, you come up here, and if he tries checking there, you just intercept with the bishop. And then if here, you gotta be careful of not walking into a fork. And you also have that too, so it's like, whoa, red alert, we're in trouble. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that. Okay, gotcha. Oh, okay, after the pin. Oh, then okay, then you're saying king to f6. Okay. Okay, check. Hmm. Probably sure something like queen there. And then you could be threatening, and if queen checks there, you just move the king, and if he tries checking there, you just play queen to g3. Something similar to this line here. That is an interesting move for sure. Check. And the other move is there, and then he gets checkmated. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, Doki. Let's see if it's perpetual. Okay, so first we take, so we're on the right track, queen takes. If if queen has to come like up there, and then we can actually block and potentially win. Let's see what is oh, the rook interposes. At the end, where I'm missing some. So not that. We want to delete that line. So it does like this better, not the rook to e1. Okay. So you can get a perpetual at, let's see here. A4. No, you can't play A4 because the queen guards that. You can't get A4. Oh, A4 here. Oh, sorry, right there. Is this what you're saying? Hold on, let me try this again. So here, okay, there. Maybe not E5 then. Let's see if we can't get. How do you get A4? I only see A3. Let's see here. Okay, there, so we're good. You'd have to take at this point. Have to look at that line. We'll have to check that out a little later. But there is a line that, oops, I don't want to do this. There is a line instead of F, there's H6. If you go straight to H6, there's a way to checkmate him as well. A5, check. And remember, it's not about the queen. Check, 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 exclaim, and then rook to F. And I don't know if there's, what would be the next move here? Oh, knight there. If he plays there, I'm trying to figure out, what do you play here? Okay, there. So there, mate. Gotcha. Okay. And then you get checkmated there. Okay, yeah. And we'll work on some, get to the end here. And this is what happens, mate and 1. So this is the summary, this wrap up. You guys can, if you guys want, you guys can always go and you know, work on the game in our line system here too. This is the wrap up. Then we'll get into some puzzles. Okay, where are we? When black gets hostile with a5, a5. And then it goes c4 there, then f5, h5, and then we have to remember that after takes there, and we go at the right point c5, so that we hit back. When he has a setup like this, remember when you get your pawn chain set up, c5, boom. So keep that in mind when he goes e5, f5, we at the right moment go wham, c5. Okay, so keep that in mind, and you should have plenty enough counterplay to do it. Let me see here. Oh, nice. Hold on, let me see. What's this? Oh, is this? Oh, this is the study page. Gotcha. Let's see. Is this the study page? Yep, perfect. Come on. Sometimes this gets a bit annoying. So we'll get into our puzzles. Come on, don't lag on me now. Oh boy, come on, don't lag on me now. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, it's puzzle time. It's puzzle time. I'll be right back. You guys take a look at this, and we'll put some lines in that you think are good, and then we'll go over them. Be right back. Oh, same listing. Okay. We'll do a. All right. Perfect. Let's create a. We'll create a game. I'll play this guy. Let's give him a go. Come on. Yeah. There we go. Do one more, then we'll get on to our puzzles. We'll wait till it goes to 29. If nothing, we'll get a puzzle. Oh, right, perfect. Gotta stay ahead of the clock sometimes. Don't get behind on the clock. And then c6, bishop to c7, and you're good to go. Yes, sirree, we got this. Yeah. Oh, nice. Let's see. Okay, knight takes, pawn takes. Let's say knight takes, so pawn takes. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I have a fork here, guys. So, just gotta keep an eye on that. Let's see here. So if I check here, say moves there, I take. Bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes. Okay, I'll play one game, then I have to get on to our tactics with you, okay? Probably is. Maybe I should have just went... No. I wouldn't be able to get my rook over there then. Thinking about pawn c5. Keep the time on my favor. Yeah, I blundered there. Snap. I should have played here. And if he takes there, well, then that would be applicable. Let's see, how could I have handled that sitch? So here, okay, so intercepting there. And it takes. Okay, I still have enough pawn. Okay, I gotta remember to not get pawn greedy about that. Then, okay, come up here. Okay, if he takes, then you take, then you take, then you come up, okay? And if there's a pin, you come down, you're attacking, he comes over. Like that, and then it comes up. Then you have a nice little fork. Rotates. Oops, not there. That would be bad. Okay, you go. All right, that makes sense. And if it comes over here, okay. So I was winning there. If he plays. Alright, we'll do two puzzles now. That was a fun game. I learned a whole bunch there. Got overextended a little too much. It wasn't fun losing, but I learned something, and learning should always be fun. Not fun to lose though. Okay, let's see here. Good. Yeah, we'll have to play next time too. Next time you come on, we'll pick up another game. Let's see here. What did he take? Oh, he took a pawn, okay. I'm trying to see, because there's a tactic here. Try to see if we can't remove this so we can grab this bishop. Because the only piece that's protecting the bishop's the queen. I'm thinking potentially rook takes knight, rook takes, knight takes, queen takes, and then rook takes. So let's see. Would we... I think we'd be... Let me see when we'd be down. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, we'd trade that for that. So this would be off the board. this, so this and this, so that would be off this. So this for that, that for that. Okay. Okay, so we'd have this versus this. Is that enough counterplay for... Yeah. Oh. You're kidding me. I thought that knight could take... Oh, you get a fork. Why doesn't... Let me see. Okay. Let's take that back. If this, and then takes, and then takes, then takes, then takes, then check. Then can't. Yeah, we're still up a pawn. Then he's got... Okay. So we're equal material at that point. Okay, gotcha. We'll do this one, then I gotta log. Come on, guys. Let's see here. So if we take there, so we moves back there. me see here. Not sure. I'll have to post it a little later. I have to post some. I have to keep up on the post. Trying to see if pawn takes f5. So pawn takes f5. Queen takes. Boy, this is sure a predicament. I think I'm overthinking this. Let's see if we take here, queen takes. We have potentially bishop, and then rook takes. Completely sure about this. Let's go with it. I thought about that, but I didn't go with it. It's okay. We'll call it here, and we'll pick up tomorrow. Okay, dokie. Well, guys, sometimes you win some, you lose some, but you know what? You gotta learn from it. It's not fun, but guess what? As long as you learn from it and improve, it's a blessing. It's not about rated, so that's a good thing. It's not a ELO rated. So you're learning how to. We have to learn how. You're gonna make mistakes. Learn from it though. And knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. And we have to remember that we can do this. Okay. And every day is not going to be a diamond. It may be a stone or a piece of coal. But coal under pressure makes a diamond. So it's the time that tries a chess player's core is kind of the time when there's a loss, like Bobby Fischer. Nobody knows. He went for a long portion losing. He took some time off and did some endgame studies with the pawn. came back and went unstoppable and ended up becoming the world champion. So every one of you guys has a world champion in you. You've got to remember that. It's just when you're willing to, like Bruce Lee, say, know when to do it and be willing and be willing. So we have to do that. And you know what? Like what Maurice Ashley and Yazzer said, that yeah, you know what? It's chess is a sport. You have to be well fit in the mind to be able to endure the long durations. Like they did 9 back-to-back blitz games for 2 days, and that's a lot of chess. You have to be physically and mentally ready. And it's good that I took myself to the limit, and we got to do that every single day. Just take ourselves to the limit. Okay, remember that, and apply that to your life. Okay, I'll leave you guys with that. And as Wesley So says, through the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, and I'll be back on Lord willing tomorrow. We'll do some more studies, puzzles, and games, and we'll keep improving. Win, lose, or draw. Remember, it doesn't make you. That's what my teacher told me. It's not. Rating will come with experience. Okay, be blessed, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Great job. Great job. Bye-bye, guys.